Okay, it's going hybrid with Deepak Subbaro. Deepak, thanks again for doing this.
Pleasure, Sid.
So we've got this kind of new subset here in going hybrid. We talked about structured data.
Yeah.
Now, oh boy, we're going to talk about unstructured data. I don't even know what I've got, Deepak. What are some key principles here?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe the first thing is to understand what is unstructured data, right? So we all know that, we've heard about it, everybody says it. Most of the companies have unstructured data, but what does that really mean? What are some examples? So with what we have talked about it is there's been an explosion in the technology, the inputs, customer wants more, customer wants now. So that also means that there's a lot of requests coming from different avenues, right? That be it social media, you have your phone calls, your emails. So all of this is pretty much unstructured because I don't know any customer who writes the same email, right, twice in the same way. So it's all different formats, different, let's say, text coming in, some with voice, different type of media. So all these are examples of unstructured, and if we don't understand them, don't analyze them, that's value lost. So that's exactly the reason why we want to understand.
All right, so got it. Those are the sources. I want to understand them. I want to analyze them. How can I possibly do this?
Yeah, I would say pretty much these three basic principles in your start with. Right? The first one, as you anything with anything else, know your data. What does it mean, right? You have the sources. What are the data points trying to tell you? So that's the first key. Know your data. The second most key thing is related to it is know the sources. Because based on the sources, you might want to change your strategy. So what are the sources? Is it emails? Is it voice? Is it video that you want to analyze? Is it transcripts, right? What are the sources of data? Where is it coming from? The third key thing is preparation of the data. So that's where the heart is, right? So what do you have to do? Do you have to transform the data? Do you have to simplify it, classify it, label it? Whatever you need to do, that's the next step. Once you have done that, then you can put all your fancy technologies on top of it. But without these three fundamental elements, your data is not going to get far.
Okay, so know my data. That calls into mind, am I getting what I need from the sources that I currently have? And it gives the opportunity, provides the opportunity to say, we're actually not getting what we need from simply sources A, B, and C. We should now introduce maybe a source D that's going to limit the historical data that we have, but it's going to improve.
Absolutely, yeah, covering all points. And then I think also the fundamental question to ask is, what is the outcome I'm expecting, right? You can't go and analyze the data without knowing what do you expect. What is the reasonable outcome I can expect? What is the hypothesis I'm trying to prove or disprove, right? So knowing the outcome is also very important and not just, going ahead with the data which you have.
Yeah, let's dive in on outcome because I could very easily, or actually painstakingly, structure my unstructured data, put it into a format where it is machine based, right? And now I can analyze it without though putting strategy onto the structuring piece. I might just be doing cutting and pasting, kind of not intelligent work here. So as far as the outcome is concerned, give us a sense of what you mean by that. As
it's more about
simply
what
digitalizing your data.
Yeah. No, I mean, which part of data you want to analyze, right? So an example could be have all this data coming in from the customer, right? Maybe different types of complaints. Let's take a complaint, right? Very good example. So I have all these complaints coming from different sources. What am I trying to find out here? Am I trying to find the the product with the most complaints, or am I trying to find the customer segment with the most complaints? So what am I trying to find? Or all of the above, right? Trying to narrow it down to say what exactly am I trying to prove here will help you to look at either the sources and the set of data that might be helpful in getting to an outcome, rather than trying to take everything I have for the last 20 years and trying to put that into a structured format. Why not focus on the vital few, right? That should save you time and get you to the right outcome.
Here's all, the 80-20 rule. I'm spending 80% of my of my time on these customers. However, in that subset, there's only a slice that is contributing substantially to revenue. So maybe I don't need to analyze all that data from these customers that are taking all of my time, but not contributing much revenue.
Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the common pitfalls which I hear from a lot of business people is that, wow, this set of data, throw it out there, let me see what the machine will tell me, right? So I'm like, really, should we be spending all the time, energy? I mean, we're not talking of, unlimited resources here that you have processing power that you will run any amount of data. So we're talking of finite amount of resources in a reasonable company. So why waste time, effort on trying to find the unknown and then focus on, okay, what is the outcome that we want, and then stick to that.
You mentioned we don't have unlimited resources. We could, again, digitalize all the data and then, actually go ahead and figure everything out. The one resource, though, that will get in the way of doing that is the one that you mentioned, time.
Absolutely.
What are you spending your time doing? It's not for me to say, digitalizing all of your unstructured data. It's digitalizing the unstructured data that matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So that's the outcome that we're looking for. We've got the central tenets of how to go about doing that. I guess maybe on the way out here, what should I do right now? If I'm a corporate enterprise practitioner listening to Deepak, you said
I would say know your data, right? Absolutely, know your data, know what's out there. Try to get a kind of a handle on what are the data elements that you have. Put these foundational elements, as we talked about, in understanding the data, identifying the sources of data, and then just preparing that foundation of data to help you to transform the process, company, or the customer that you're looking for.
It also feels like, though, what you're saying here is, especially dealing with unstructured data, which is vast, is knowing where you're going. Yeah. So if you know where you're going, then you can look back at the unstructured data and say, okay, I actually only need these pieces.
Yeah. And typically, right, most of the time you're going to work with unstructured data, but you'll put that along with the structured data that you have already. So it would make sense that you don't spend too much time and effort trying to solve whole problem of unstructured data, but look at the context of, this is the structured data I have, what unstructured data do I need to work together to make sense out of it.
Fantastic. There's unstructured data. We have talked about structured data, and there is a third piece which we will leave as a cliffhanger, and we will see you very soon. Deepak, thanks so much. As always, very much appreciate this conversation. Can't wait to the next one.
Yeah, take care.